Okay guys, this system has what's called, this trailer has what's called a Goshen lift system. It consists of a pulley up here which runs a cable. The cool thing about this system is everything is on the outside of the camper. No pulleys on the inside, no cables on the inside. And the other nice thing about this system is it's all metal. There's no nylon pulleys, nylon straps, cables, and everything is done outside. And I'm gonna crawl underneath here and see if I can't show you. But what I did is up here, there's two bolts that hold, this is the spring tube, I guess if you call it. It's what lifts the trailers or cranking the handle. The Goshen system pulls a cable, and it's really hard to see, but you can see that hole up in there right in the center of the screen, and there's a cable that runs along into a pulley system inside a tube. So what I did is I took and let's see if I can zoom in enough to show you. I don't think I can, but you can see the end of the tube right, I think it's in the middle of the screen there. If not, I apologize. But there's a Zerk fitting above, or right below, right above where that bump out slides in. And you pump it full of grease until the grease squirts out the end, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a blob of grease on the ground there and a blob of grease on the ground there. I didn't realize where it was going to come out, so I kept pumping and pumping and pumping, and eventually the grease squirted out the end, so I knew that one was full. Also, if you take apart, you take out those two screws right there, you can drop down the cable system. I put about 40 cc's of 30 weight oil in a tube. I did that to all four corners, and then filled that section up, went up to the front. I sprayed this entire pulley system right here with a quick drying Teflon dry lube. And then if you go all the way to the back of the camper here, there's another one of the tubes right there, if you can see it, I hope. And then another tube over here underneath. And then I came down here. Excuse the camera bumping all over the place. At least you can see it. This is where the cable comes out in the back. And then that pulley is what the cable pulls on, which pulls the pulley system on the inside of the tube, and then it pushes the springs and lifts the top up. I also took out that pulley right there and cleaned it up a lot and sprayed it with a quick dry Teflon dry lube, and then cranked it up and down a couple of times, and it's remarkable how much different this system cranks. It goes up and down super smooth, and it took a full tube and about a quarter of another tube to fill the system. And super smooth up and down now, and there's a couple of little squeaks, but I think it's this pulley back here because it's metal on metal. I haven't tried lifting it up and down since, but you can see the undercarriage of the camper while I'm here. Everything down here is pretty, it's black and dirty, but it's pretty clean, pretty dry. Not a whole lot of bugs, and no water damage, no evidence, very little rust. So once again, back to the very first video where I talked about people taking care of it. It's apparent that the original owner took very good care of it, and the guy I bought it from didn't do a darn thing. Anyway, that's that. I also took off every one of these lights, and these were the lights that I showed you earlier that had grass growing in them. You can see how good a condition. I still haven't cleaned these up yet. You can see how dirty and nasty these lights are. I'll take these off and get them cleaned up as well. Clean off all of the extra butyl tape that was on the inside of these, and I'll replace all the butyl tape. I've got a damage right here where it was cranked down and something was still protruding from the camper, and gotta clean that up a lot. Sorry for the camera work, guys. And took all the lights off the side. That's the exhaust for the heater. I haven't tried it yet, but I was told it works. And then you can see up here where I took this light off as well. I took all the lights off the outside of the camper. Now you can actually see that gutter. I still got to put the insert tape in there, but as you can see, it's nice and clean all the way down. It looks brand new. Pretty happy with how everything's coming out. There's another light off, another light off. Got the door taken apart. Got it drying right now. Took that light off there. That light came up pretty good. I put beetle tape behind it. Where's it at? Can you see it? Let me get out of the light. And I put RV caulk. It's not silicone-based caulk. It's a chemical-based caulk, so it's not water soluble. It's pretty nasty stuff, and if you don't get it right the first time, you can't manipulate it and move it like normal caulking. This stuff is pretty harsh. See where I took the exterior barbecue mount off, cleaned it all up, put it back on with beetle tape as well, and waiting for a cold morning. I'll come out and trim off that ugliness on the beetle tape there. Took this off. This is an exterior outlet. So you can see one side went back on really nice, the other side not so much. So I'm gonna have to go inside, reinforce, and drill a pilot hole and put a piece of wood to back it so I can suck it in tight. Other than that, still coming along. Still a long ways to go and a lot of work to do, but it's getting there. I'll see you in a second.